Hello, my name is PumpkinFluff, and I am casting the North American League of Legends Academy League Series for the Spring 2018 split. This is Week 2, Match 3, Golden Guardians Academy versus Counter Logic Gaming Academy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rosters for these two teams. On the blue side is Golden Guardians Academy. They have Jenkins in the top lane, Potluck in the jungle, Bob Chin is the mid laner, Jurassic is AD carry with Xpecial on support. Over on the red side is Counter Logic Gaming Academy. Fallen Bandit in the top lane, Omar God in the jungle, Tuesday as the mid laner, and Autofill as AD carry and support. Let's get into this matchup. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the picks and bans for this game. Looks like Golden Guardians Academy has banned Ryze, Kog'Maw, Kalista, Urgot, and Vlad, with that target Urgot ban going towards Fallen Bandit. On the other side, CLG Academy has been Rengar, Zac, Sejuani, Zoe, and Azir, really taking out Potluck's champion pool, banning 3 junglers away from him. Going ahead and taking a look at the actual picks in this game, it looks like Gangplank is in the top lane for Jenkins with Potluck on Jarvan in the jungle. Bob Chin has taken Malzahar, while Jurassic is sitting on Varus as the AD carry with Xpecial taking Tahm Kench to keep him safe. On the other side of the map for Counter Logic Gaming Academy, Fallen Bandit is on the Gnar in the top lane. Omar God has Kha'Zix in the jungle looking to do a lot of damage on that scary bug. Talia is for the mid laner on Tuesday. Otto has picked Ezreal as the AD carry with Phil as Taric to keep him safe on support. The interesting picks in this one for me is the Talia coming out from Tuesday. I believe Azir was banned. So the 3 big mid lane champions of Ryze, Azir, and Malzahar were all picked or banned. So this really left Tuesday free to pick kind of whatever he wants at that point, since those big 3 are out of there. And he does go with the Talia, which has been making a slow resurgence in the LCS itself. So we'll have to see how well he's able to roam and make good effect onto this champion. On the other side of the map, it's pretty much standard picks. The Varus is a little bit out of the normal, but it can be a lane bully up into the Ezreal. There were quite a few AD carry bans, so we'll have to see if Jurassic can take an advantage early into this game. Last week when he was on Kalista, that early game snowballed out of control for them, with him really taking over the game with that early game champion. So I really want to see if Jurassic's going to be able to pull off the same kind of moves this time.
Minions have spawned.
The Gangplank into Gnar matchup is one we've been seeing a lot of. It was in the last game. Gnar should be able to kind of bully out the Gangplank here at the beginning, but if Gangplank is free to scale, he's going to be a massive threat later into this game. It looks like CLG Academy is starting here on their bottom side jungle, and Golden Guardians Academy is going to be doing the same thing. So both of these top laners are going, or both of these junglers are going to end their path up towards the top lane, towards this matchup, which really could have quite a big influence on the game. If Gnar is able to get ahead and can get his split push going, Gangplank's going to have a really hard time. However, if Gangplank is free to just farm up, he's really going to take control later into the game. Tuesday does make over with a quick roam and gets that vision down in the blue buff, so it's some really early warding coming out of him. And have to see what's actually going to come with that, if they're able to focus on that vision and play safe around where that Jarvan is. It looks like Phil might get eaten up here in the bottom lane. He just has the tongue lash. The sun comes out. This might be first blood already. The exhaust comes out onto Jurassic. Flash is forward. The heal comes out. First blood for Xpecial in this game. Really good job by this bottom lane of Golden Guardians Academy. Like I said last week, they were doing the same thing. They had a roam down from top lane to help them last week, but this time just 2v2. Phil steps a little bit too far forward, and he is punished by this bottom lane. Xpecial's veteran status really coming in clutch here, knowing when someone steps too far forward and knowing the kind of damage they have. So good job on both of them. Xpecial bringing that ignite, has the kill pressure in that lane, and I guess they just hit that level 2 spike a little bit sooner. No, they were still level 1 when they took that fight, actually. So even better on them. That's going to really start snowballing that bottom lane for them. It is interesting to note that they took the biscuits instead of the stopwatch here in the bottom lane. So that's going to help out their early game even more, actually. Having those biscuits able to sustain in lane is going to help out that bottom lane quite a bit more, and so they should be able to stick in lane and snowball this pressure against Otto and Phil here on the side of CLG Academy. This is slightly worrying for CLG Academy. I think they are one of the bottom teams here in the Academy League. Although their team has been the same team for the past year or so, they haven't had the best record in terms of win-losses in their matches. Last year, I believe their only win was against the Delta Fox squad of the Meme Dream Stream team. Other than that, they didn't have a good showing last year, and so far this year, they've lost both their matches. So we'll really have to see if they can step up this game with Tuesday on this Talia. We'll have to see if he's able to make some roams, play along with Omar God, and try and snowball some advantages in these side lanes. Talia and Kha'Zix can work really well together to create some skirmishes. That's where Kha'Zix is going to thrive in these 2-on-2, 3-on-3 matchups. And if he can coordinate that with Tuesday with the Talia wall coming in here in a few minutes, they might be able to create some advantages on these side lanes. Looks like for now, though, Golden Guardians does have their own fair amount of global map pressure. That Gangplank ult is going to come online very soon. So bottom lane is going to be a scary place for the CLG side if Malzahar and Gangplank can both go down to the bottom. Xpecial is on this Tahm Kench as well, so roams are possible up to the mid lane. Last week we saw a lot of teams on the Tahm Kench ulting towards the mid lane and really starting to snowball the map around their mid lane players. So I'm excited to see if Xpecial and Jurassic just want to continue bullying down this lane here on the bottom, or if they do decide to make more roaming plays. Right now, Ezreal is up ahead in CS, which is pretty impressive considering they lost that first kill. So good job on Otto to make sure that that remains even. We'll have to see how much further the Golden Guardian Academy bot lane can push their advantage, though. It looks like for the most part around the map, oh, there's a fight coming in on the bottom lane. The sun comes out onto Xpecial, but he pops that gray health and will be fine. Jurassic is sitting at half HP, but with both of them having the Relic Shield, they should be able to heal up. It's interesting that Xpecial went for the first item, Sightstone, on this Tahm Kench. Normally, I've been seeing the Sightstone come in a little bit later for these supports, but he decided to go for that first, really putting priority on Vision for this support. Looking across the map, it looks like CS is pretty even in most of these lanes. Jenkins is a little bit behind this Gnar here in the top lane, but he's going to pick up quite a few underneath this turret right now, and it's not going to be a huge advantage either way. The mid lane Bobchin is taking a little bit of harass from this Talia. Talia's got a pretty good bit of poke, so she's able to harass the Malzahar here, even with his spell shield. But he looks like he's not really the worst for wear of it, keeping even in CS despite him being chunked out. Looks like Jurassic and Xpecial have managed to force the bottom lane of CLG out of this lane as Tuesday collects his blue buff for himself. Ezreal was able to back, and he's sitting on his tier and Sheen, so that's going to be a pretty big power spike for Ezreal in this lane. We'll have to see if Golden Guardians wants to match this back and see if Jurassic can get himself a power spike of his own. Looks like he's probably going back to lane, so we'll have to see what he does end up buying and coming back with. Looking overall at these two teams, Golden Guardians is probably... Oh, there's a flash coming in from Bobchin. He does get the suppress down as well as the Gangplank ult. The Jarden comes in. Potluck gets that first blood onto Tuesday. Tuesday not respecting the flash ult coming in from Malzahar after he hit level 6. Really good job from Bobchin just to pull that trigger. He knew he had that Gangplank ult as well as Potluck here on the side. So much global damage coming in from inside Golden Guardians Academy. Really able to punish Tuesday when he stepped just a little bit too far forward. Not a whole lot Tuesday can do besides just play a little bit far back and try to flash on reaction, seeing that Malzahar flash. In that top lane though, Gnar is going to be free to harass Gangplank even more, knowing that Gangplank doesn't have his ult. So it's a little bit of a disadvantage at this point for Gangplank, but he did manage to even up in CS, so we'll have to see how much damage Gnar can actually put on this turret, and see if they can pressure for a dive later on. Going back to what these two teams want to do, Golden Guardians Academy really just wants to scale and look more towards the global picks later in the game. Having this Malzahar with his flash ult, as well as Tom Kinch and Gangplank to move in. They have a lot of global pressure and can look for picks and just to start team fights. Basically, whenever they want, have the global pressure. Fallen Bandit does jump in onto Jenkins. Jenkins cleanses away with the orange, but he's taking a lot of damage from the Gnar. It's not going to turn into anything, but I think Jenkins will be forced to go back to base. He does still have his teleport, so he should be able to move back up to the top lane. We'll collect most of that farm after healing up. That means that a little bit later on, Fallen Bandit will have the teleport advantage, so we'll have to see if they're able to make anything come from that. So yeah, Golden Guardians, they really just want to look for these picks later into the middle of the game. They have the Varus ult, they have the Malzahar ult, and they have all the global pressure from the Gangplank and Tom Kinch to really make picks and get outnumbered team fights later on. On the side of CLG, really what they want to do is use Omar God and Tuesday to roam to side lanes, force some skirmishes, and start snowballing the map. They are a little bit behind, so that's going to be even more difficult for them to do later in the game. It's going to be hard for this Taliyah to actually have map pressure, since it can be matched from the Gangplank and the Tom Kinch. Gangplank looks like he might lose his turret here soon, but in return for that pressure on the turret, Golden Guardians Academy was able to pick up that Fire Dragon, so really good pickup for them. With 3 people now here on the top side of the map for CLG Academy, looking to take down this first turret of the game. Looks like in response, Golden Guardians might be looking for a dive down in the bottom lane. Hotlight is already down there in the lane, so they know that Jarvan is hovering that bottom side of the map, which means that CLG should probably be playing a little bit safer. Tuesday is losing a lot of damage on his own tower here in the middle lane, but he should be able to clear that out just fine. Right now this is really good for the Gnar since he was able to take that first turret. He did start with a defensive opening with those Ninja Tabbies and Dorn's Shield, which means that once this Gangplank hits his item spikes, although that Gnar went defensively, he's going to be just fine. Gnar's going to have the damage to really pressure him. And here on the bottom side again, Golden Guardians is pushing up this turret. Really, Golden Guardians is winning 2 out of 3 lanes on this map. With the Gangplank scaling, they're fine losing that top lane on their own. I expect them to just keep the lane assignments as they are for now, since they are winning, but they will have to worry about this Gnar roaming in, especially since Gnar has his teleport up and ready while Gangplank doesn't. It would be easy for the Gnar to create a disadvantageous fight for Golden Guardians Academy if they want to pressure somewhere like the bottom lane of the map. Doesn't look like they're going to make a play for it just yet, and instead keep Fallen Bandit up here in the top lane and hope to get some more pressure on the top side of the map. Since they do have that pressure, Omar God is going to look to clear out this Rift Herald, which is going to help them push down either the bottom or the mid lane. It looks like Fallen Bandit's going on to Jenkins. Jenkins doesn't have his orange quite up yet, and he's going to run away. He sidesteps the Q from the Gnar and will make it out just fine. He doesn't even burn his flash for that one. He will have to go back to base. No, he's staying around trying to clear out these minion waves. He might have a hard time if Fallen Bandit stays there in the top lane. Could be an easy matter for the Gnar to actually dive him. Thankfully, Gangplank does have his orange though, so he will be able to heal up, and he's not really within diveable territory on his health now. Looks like Fallen Bandit's just going to have a fine time hitting the tower a couple of times, and then maybe moving on to make a flank here in the middle lane. Ezreal comes out from the bottom to clear out some of these minions, but that tower is going to fall. Potluck gets himself away from that Taric stun just in time as Fallen Bandit is coming here on the side, but it looks like Golden Guardians Academy is going to be able to walk away from this one cleanly. They do have to give up their priority here in the mid lane though, as CLG does have the members on the map to make a push. Malzahar wave clear though is pretty impressive, so there's not going to be a whole lot of damage onto this turret from CLG. Good moves from Golden Guardians Academy, knowing that they had that middle turret low, and knowing that they have the pressure to force to take that down. They're probably going to put more pressure here down towards the bottom lane again. Finish out this last outer... No, they evened out the turrets, I'm sorry. I expect them though to still put their focus down here in the bottom lane turret as it has been getting low. See if they can knock that one down and then rotate up to the top turret and finish out that outer ring of turrets. For CLG side though, they're just going to look to make sure that Golden Guardians can't get close to those turrets, focus on the wave clear, and maybe if Golden Guardians does push up too far, have the Talia and Kha'Zix move down to make a big team fight play. So far Jurassic has not held... Oh my god, jumps over and gets the smite onto the blue buff, so good job onto him. But so far Jurassic has not been able to really snowball that lead that they got in the bottom lane. They got that early kill, but they pretty much only matched for gold. Okay, I'm back. My cat jumped up onto my desk and knocked over my camera, so I had to pause the game, go back a little bit. But what I was saying was Jurassic and Xpecial, although they got that first kill in the bottom lane, really weren't able to do much off of that. The farm has just been matched for the most part by the Ezreal. There's a little bit of damage on this tower, and it looks like they are going to make this fall. So good job on this bottom lane, pretty much just 2v2 winning that lane, but they weren't able to snowball it quite as hard as I had expected them to. Like I said, Jurassic earlier last week had some really good play on their Kalista and knew what to do to snowball the match. Wasn't able to do quite the same thing this time, although he did have a good play. Looks like Omar God is trying to knock down this turret with Fallen Bandit here. He pops the Rift Herald, and it's just going to get one charge off on this turret. However, Fallen Bandit is going to stick around. He doesn't have a minion wave. He does have this Rift Herald. Minion wave comes in now, and it looks like CLG is going to pick up this bottom turret. So really good move by Fallen Bandit and Omar God to keep up pressure on this top side of the map. Take down that turret using the Rift Herald. Jenkins is going to have a hard time really keeping this Gnar at bay, because now Gnar... since he's pushed up both of those towers, he's going to be free to roam and make team plays with the rest of the CLG lineup. Gangplank's going to have a hard time matching that, especially with the power that Gnar brings in these team fights. So now Golden Guardians is kind of going to have to play on their back foot, at least on this top half of the map. Knowing that this Gnar is really just pulling out the Gangplank. However, since they have put so much focus there on the top side of the map from CLG Academy, Golden Guardians has the pressure on the bottom side, and they're going to be able to pick up their second dragon of the game, which is this Ocean Dragon. If we look at the vision on the map, really all the vision from CLG is in that top lane where they've been playing around. All the vision for Golden Guardians is in this bottom lane where they've been playing around. So really good on both these teams to split up the map. However, I think at this point in the game that probably favors CLG Academy, since they are the ones far behind, and yet they're making even trades overall in terms of objectives. It's 2-2 in terms of turrets. Golden Guardians is up ahead 2 dragons, but the gold is fairly close, only 1.5 thousand in favor for Golden Guardians. So CLG is doing a good job holding into this game. Despite them having poor games before. We'll have to see if Omar God is going to be able to do anything on this Kha'Zix to really lead his team towards victory. I want to look towards him as a leader in this game, since he does have the experience in the LCS. He is on this Kha'Zix, which is a proactive pick, which can really dictate the pace of this game. So far, he hasn't been able to do much on it, though. It's just mainly been Fallen Bandit here in the top lane, split pushing on the Gnar, getting advantages for himself. Looks like overall, though, this map is pretty even, like I've been saying. They were just trading on different sides of the map. But it looks like Golden Guardians now is putting their focus towards the top side, trying to even out those turrets on the top lane. Oh my god is here in the jungle, and he has found Potluck. Let's see if he decides to jump in onto him. Two other members from Golden Guardians are here. They look like they dissuade that. Falling Bandit has teleported here into the backside of the map, and there's a flank coming in. Jarvan gets stunned up against his own Cataclysm. Gnar gets the giant W. He is suppressed though now. X Special is taking a lot of damage. He does have the great health, but it looks like Potluck is able to flash away from that fight. That Gangplank ult is slowing everyone as Gangplank comes in on the side. Huge hit onto Tuesday, but the Gnar is rooted up and he goes down as Jurassic picks up that kill. Golden Guardians now in the lead, and Potluck is able to live during that fight despite having a lot of focus put onto him. Really good engage on the side of CLG Academy, but they weren't able to get enough damage before it turned away in their favor. Jenkins on that Gangplank, able to have the ult, slow down the fight a little bit, act as a disengage, and then come in on the side and really wreak havoc through the back line of CLG Academy. They didn't have vision on this bottom half of the map, so Gangplank came in, basically snuck into the side of that fight where Otto and Tuesday were sitting, got a huge chain of barrels off onto them, and really swung the favor of that fight in the favor of Golden Guardians Academy. So really big play out of Jenkins on this Gangplank, showing us why the Gangplank pick is a formidable pick in this meta, and what he can do in team fights. Looks like now Golden Guardians weren't able to get a whole lot out of that pick. They weren't able to really push up any of the waves except here in the bottom lane where Gangplank went back. No turrets were taken, there weren't any other objectives on the map. So really it's just going to be a little bit of extra gold in the pockets of Golden Guardians. We'll have to see if they're able to keep making team fights like that. For now, I imagine both of these teams are going to be focusing towards that Baron pit, as Baron did just spawn. Looks like for now Golden Guardians does have the advantage up here. But Potluck looks like he might be out of position. Oh my god, is invisible with that Kha'Zix R upgrade. Gets a little bit of damage onto Potluck, but Potluck will be fine. Heals back up to full with this red buff and manages to clear out the vision that CLG Academy just put down around Baron. Looks like there is a fight coming in. Tuesday throws down the Talia wall. Special eats the AD carry, flashes over the wall, and a great disengage on the side of Golden Guardians Academy. They had the vision on that side of the river, thanks to them being pushed up and being able to put in wards. And Special has an easy disengage from that. Now he's looking towards the mid lane. He does have Jurassic with him, and it looks like they might be able to take down this turret. However, CLG Academy is collapsing. That turret does still go down. Potluck looks like he might be out of position. The stun comes in from Tarek, but it misses as Potluck is going to walk away. Otto is a little bit far forward here, but he arcane shifts over the wall and manages to get to safety. The spooky ghosts come out, but they're more just to disengage the rest of this fight. It looks like Malzahar is the one who has picked up that Frost Queen's claim. I haven't been seeing it nearly as much from him as I have been seeing it from some of the other mid laners. It is somewhat common to be picked up on Malzahar, but usually I see him going for more of the big ticket items first. So this is going to give him a little bit of gold generation, but it's going to slow him down on his next item power spike. So we'll have to see if he's able to actually take advantage of this extra gold income he's getting. Looks like Fallen Bandit is going to again get some damage onto this tower. Jenkins is scared to come up against the Gnar, which is understandable since the Gnar has had good pressure and is sitting at 1.5 items up on this Gangplank. However, Gangplank does have the Ninja Tabbies himself sitting on the Trinity Force and pieces of the Yomu's Ghostblade. So he should be starting to get into a position where he can fight the Gnar. He just has to be a little bit careful with how he plays it. Right now, it looks like there might be a fight going down around this dragon, which is about to spawn in 2 seconds. CLG Academy does have a head start on this fire dragon, able to clear out the vision first. It looks like Golden Guardians wasn't quite prepared for it, as Jurassic gets taken down immediately. Tuesday with that kill. Bobchin has to flash away from the knockup from Talia, and with that one pickoff onto Jurassic, it looks like CLG Academy is going to pick up this Fire Drake for free. Golden Guardians doesn't want to give it up quite yet, and it looks like they might try for this fight in a 4v5 situation. Potluck sitting at the blast cone, he does jump over. Smite goes over in favor of CLG Academy. It looks like they're just going to disengage for now, neither team wanting to take that fight afterwards. Clean pickup for CLG Academy, really good for them to get that pick onto Jurassic in the mid lane, and even better for them to be able to pick up that dragon afterwards. It was really good timing on that pick, and they knew exactly how to capitalize, so good job out of them. Taking a look at the item builds, it looks like Jarvan has already completed his Warmogs as well as the Cinder Hulk. So he's going to be a very tanky Jarvan. Going towards that Locket of the Iron Solari is his next item, helping him in team fights. But Fallen Bandit does jump onto Jenkins, and Oh My God is here as well. Jenkins oranges out of the stun, uses a stopwatch, but he's going to go down. Oh My God is here, gets the damage off, and Fallen Bandit takes that kill for himself. This is slowly starting to fall apart for Golden Guardians Academy, but they use that time to, Oh My God is at the bottom side of the jungle to start this Baron. Tuesday has a great wall to trap the members of Golden Guardians into the pit. Smite, or the Zonius comes out, and the Taric ult comes out. Wow, the Baron goes over to the side of Golden Guardians as this fight breaks out. Tuesday takes down Jurassic, and it looks like this fight is going to the favor of CLG Academy. That is an ace for CLG Academy, even though they lost that Baron. Great job from them having that team fight. With Gnar coming through with the teleport and that giant Gnar ult, they're able to take the team fight even though they lose the Baron. So really good job for them. They are still a little bit behind in gold, but with the map pressure that they have now while everyone is dead on the side of Golden Guardians, they should be able to push up for a couple of turrets and even out this gold lead. Gnar is sitting on his 2-item power spikes. This is going to be very scary for Jenkins to go up against him here in the future. Having that Frozen Mallet as well as the Black Cleaver, if Fallen Bandit gets in range of Jenkins is going to have a hard time getting away from this Gnar. It looks like Oh My God is going to get this tower here in the bottom lane. Huge minion wave there to help him. And now that's 5 turrets to 3 in favor of CLG Academy, 6 kills to 3, and about 200 golden. Really good job for CLG Academy to pull themselves back into this game after a somewhat slow early game. Looks like quite a few people on the side of CLG Academy have used that gold that they recently got to pick up those QSSs for themselves. Gnar has one, and now Oh My God as well has one. Going to be able to stop that Malzahar ult in these fights coming up. Now that the Baron buff is off the table as well as the Dragon, CLG Academy is putting their focus here towards the bottom lane where they have a remaining outer turret. Since they have that pressure with the Gnar, this is going to be a power point for them, and they might be able to force down this turret using the Ezreal poke to help them siege. Making sure that they have vision down in this jungle before they push up too far. They don't want Golden Guardians to be able to flank them with this gangplank like he did in the previous fight. Ezreal shoots out the ult to clear up the top wave so that they don't have to worry about that in the future. Looks like the wall comes out from Tuesday, and it's going to stop Golden Guardians from getting over to this mid lane to defend it. They are able to get a few hits on the map as Oh My God takes a little bit of damage but is able to jump away. Flash forward from Bobchin, but the Taric ult comes out not soon enough. Rooted is Phil as he's shooting on the Potluck. He gets suppressed and he's going to go down. That's 2 kills now picked up on the side of Golden Guardians Academy. Otto is taking a lot of damage from the side of Golden Guardians, but he's going to be able to escape. That was a great flash ultimate from Bobchin, able to find the pick onto CLG, and that Taric ult was not able to come in fast enough to save his mid laner. Really good defense on the side of Golden Guardians Academy, but it looks like now Jenkins might be taking a little bit more harass than he wanted from this Gnar. He does manage to clear out that wave with the barrels, and it looks like Golden Guardians is going to try and reset this map, push out a couple of their waves, start getting vision around this dragon, which is spawning in a minute. They want to make sure that they can clear out the visions and put down in their jungle as well, so that they'll be safe to move up and push out these waves. There's a fairly large minion wave here in the top lane, so it looks like they're going to clear that out and see if they can push forward and get any damage on this outer turret. With Jurassic and Special both here, they should be safe even if CLG decides to collapse on them. Having that Special ultimate means that they can pretty much escape for free if they need to. Looks like they're not going to push up too far though. They don't have vision on the rest of CLG Academy. They're just going to crash that wave into the turret and make sure that it's pushing for themselves. Fallen Bandit is remaining here on the bottom side of this map, trying to keep up pressure in the bottom lane, making sure that they have priority to move on this dragon that does spawn in about 20 seconds for themselves. And it looks like he's going to start to chip away at this turret. CLG Academy has again put down some more vision in this bottom side of the map, and it looks like they're pressuring on this mid lane turret. The Malzahar does have fairly good wave clear, so he should be able to stop this push before too much damage can come down. That leaves Fallen Bandit free here in the side lane to really take down this turret. CLG Academy is moving through the jungle here, but it looks like Golden Guardians is going to give up this turret, not wanting to take the fight. The gold is even at this point, but Golden Guardians might not be aware of that. It's fairly even on the map. The power spike should be there for both teams. It's a little bit more difficult for Golden Guardians to play these team fights as they really only have tank and a half with the Jarvan and Tahm Kench, whereas on the other side having that tank in the Taric and the invulnerability makes these team fights very difficult unless Golden Guardians gets a great start to one. So they want to play safe until they make sure that they can catch someone out of position with a flash ult from Bombchin. Looks like CLG has reset and gone back to their side of the map, wants to clear out their jungle, and CLG Tuesday wants to grab this blue buff as it spawns and make sure that he has more power coming out onto the map. Jurassic manages to pick up this red buff for himself, and Baron is spawning in a minute. Right now, CLG Academy does have pressure on the top side of the map with that top lane turret still up for them, so they should be able to put down their own vision and sweep out the vision from Golden Guardians Academies first. Golden Guardians is going to have a hard time pushing up into this Baron buff unless they can get vision, but they're going to have to move with multiple members up there, as it will be easy for Tuesday to wall off a couple members and try and look for a catch. It looks like Malzahar tried to push up that wave in the top, but doesn't want to extend too far, knowing that the rest of CLG can easily collapse onto him. So far, again, it looks like Fallen Bandit is just going to continue his split push here in the bottom. With that last outer tower down from the side of Golden Guardians Academy, it's going to be really hard for Fallen Bandit to make a whole lot of headway onto these inhibitor turrets. It's a lot easier to defend those turrets for Gangplank. So Fallen Bandit is just going to want to keep up the pressure here and hopefully try a teleport play later on once these team fights break out. Overall, the game has slowed down quite a bit. Both teams are just stalling out, making sure that someone has better vision around the Baron before they actually want to try anything. CLG again is clearing out that vision. Right now they have control. We'll have to see what they want to do here in the future as far as starting a fight. If they are able to get Fallen Bandit to teleport on a flank ward, I believe the fight would go in the favor of CLG Academy. However, there aren't a whole lot of forward wards from CLG, so having that flank come in might be a little bit difficult. Otto is here on the side trying to get some poke out, but all he's doing right now is actually clearing out the wave. It's just a tug of war right now, back and forth between the Baron to see who's going to give up this pressure first. Oh My God is looking for a pick here. He has his R evolve, like I said earlier, so he's going to be invisible for a long time. but it doesn't look like they're able to find anything. However, now Golden Guardians is pushed back pretty far onto their side of the map, so we have to see if CLG actually wants to start the Baron while everyone's far away. Potluck is pretty far away on this Jarvan, so CLG, they're putting pings over towards the Baron. It looks like they might set a trap here. Phil is seen. The root comes out from there, some team fights started. Flash Q comes out from Bobchin, the ultimate from Gangplank, but the silence comes in, and the Taric ult is going to stop any more damage coming out from the Malzahar. Phil looks like he's in a bad position, and he is going to go down. Tuesday gets caught out on the other side of the wall. It's a double kill coming in for Jurassic, and a big team fight win for Golden Guardians Academy. They will be able to pick up the Baron, I would assume, after this fight. However, Omar God is still alive, so it might be a little bit scary with the Smite fight going down. Golden Guardians looks like they might be willing to risk it though, and see if they can just keep Omar God out of the pit for themselves. Fallen Bandit is taking a lot of damage from Jurassic. Potluck jumps in. Fallen Bandit has a giant Gnar ult, but there's not nearly enough follow-up coming from the side of CLG Academy, and Gnar is just going to fall for himself. Omar God is still here, but he comes, and it's going to be a suicide attempt whether or not he actually gets the Baron. Golden Guardians is not too worried about the Baron going over, it seems. They are confident in their ability to secure it. Omar God gets suppressed, but he pops the Hourglass, and he is going to fall. On the other side, though, Ezreal was able to take down Al-Sahar, so really good job for Otto, able to get those Mystic shots in, but it's not going to be enough. Overall, that's a huge teamfight victory for the side of Golden Guardians Academy. I believe 4-for-1 after all is said and done, as well as picking up the Baron. So it looks like they're going to be in the driver's seat for the next few minutes of this game, having that Baron buff, as well as a couple more power points on the map. It looks like a lot of those kills in the last team fight went over to the side of Jurassic. He's sitting on 4 items now, going for that Frozen Mallet for a little bit of extra defense against the Kazakhs. It's an interesting choice on the Varus. I see it a lot on the Kog'Maw, but Kog'Maw with his attack speed and W steroid really doesn't need the damage from these other items, so he's more free to build the Frozen Mallet. On the Varus, the Frozen Mallet, I'm a little not quite sold onto the pickup here, but if Jurassic stays safe and is able to keep putting out damage in these team fights with that pick, I guess it'll work for him. Surprised he is going for that defensive item, knowing that he does still have the Tom Kench and 2 Lockets of the Iron Solari on his team. But he decided that he was dying just too much in these fights and wants the Frozen Mallet instead. Malzahar has picked up his Leandries and the Rylais, so he's going to be putting out a lot of damage and just slowing everyone in these team fights. However, he does not have a Void Staff yet, and everyone on the side of CLG does have quite a bit of magic resist, with everyone picking up at least a QSS, as well as other magic resistance to go with it. So Bobchin's going to really need that Void Staff before he's going to be putting out quite as much damage as he wants to in these team fights. It looks like with their Baron buff, Golden Guardians Academy hasn't been able to do a whole lot. It was really just used to stall out the game. They did look to start this Elder Dragon, but they do pull off of it instead. They are using this Baron buff towards the mid lane to get a little bit more pressure around the Dragon buff. And it looks like Tom Kitch is going to ult for its backline. The Taric ult comes out and it's going to stop a whole lot. The ult comes in from Jurassic and they are hitting on the Phil, but he is the tank. He is going to go down, but that's the Malzahar ult and the Varus ult used just for the support. So we'll have to see if CLG is going to be able to pick up this fight. It is a 4v5 in favor of Golden Guardians, and Fallen Bandits caught out on the side. The side of CLG is able to clear out the minion wave before they lose too much, though. We'll have to see what CLG wants to do to stop this push. They might just have to give up this inhibitor turret, as they are outnumbered here on the map. Tuesday is trying to get some poke in onto the side of Golden Guardians, but it's not going to be enough. And CLG Academy loses their inhibitor there in the mid lane after a great pick onto the support. Omar God is here, but he is jumping into 5 people on the side of Golden Guardians, so I don't think there's a whole lot he can do. The teleport's coming in for Fallen Bandit, is trying to get the flank. The silence comes in, and Jenkins is on a killing spree as Tuesday gets out of position and absolutely deleted by this huge flank. This is going to give Golden Guardians the Elder Dragon. And it's going to give them a lot of power here on the map, especially with that mid lane always pushing thanks to those super minions. Looks like they're going to head towards the bottom lane now. They do have some minions there picking up. It looks like they're going for the flank on the Fallen Bandit. He's caught out of position, gets knocked up by the Flag and Drag. Silence. He's going to try and use the Blast Gun. The Bobchin has a great Blast Gun himself before Fallen Bandit can get there. They pick up another kill, and now Golden Guardians Academy is looking to push up with this minion wave to try and crack the base at another place onto CLG. Looks like they're going to quickly destroy this turret, and now with that Elder Drink buff, it's going to be very hard for CLG to defend this final turret push. They take the turret, and now they're putting their sights on the inhibitor. The ult comes out from Varus, but it doesn't quite connect. This might stop the push from the side of Golden Guardians Academy, but they have two waves coming in. It looks like they want to try and end this game. Potluck's sitting on the front line. The Terran ult comes out. Auto gets that on top of himself. That's three people immune to damage on the side of CLG Academy, but they don't go in while they're immune. And they do lose the Nexus Tower. That might just be all that they're going to lose, though. The Talia wall comes out, and Jurassic and Xpecial are on the wrong side. Xpecial does manage to flash over the wall with Jurassic in his mouth, and Xpecial and the rest of the Golden Guardians Academy squad are able to get away safe from that. Really good push from them, almost an overstay, almost getting caught out by that Talia wall. But thanks to Tom Kinch being what and who he is, that River King is able to save the rest of his team. This does give CLG Academy a little bit of time to pressure on the map, as everyone from Golden Guardians wants to reset, but I doubt CLG is actually going to be able to get a whole lot except for just some pressure on this push. They now have two inhibitors down, so they're going to have to be careful about playing around the rest of this map, as the Baron is coming up in about a minute and a half. Golden Guardians Academy, now that the other side of the map has the inhibitors down, probably should look towards the top lane, push out that last remaining tower, the last two remaining towers up there, while CLG has to defend against those super minions. Once they get those towers in the top lane, it should be easy for them to have more pressure here around this Baron, which means they can take the Baron and look to close out the game. For the side of CLG Academy, though, they want to make sure that this last remaining outer tower doesn't fall, because they know that if it does, it's going to be very hard for them to defend against that Baron in the upcoming team fight. The tower does go down, and CLG loses pretty much all the pressure that they had on the map. Omar God is looking to see if he can catch anyone out of position here, as Fallen Bandit is coming to join him on the flank. However, Golden Guardians is doing a very good job of moving around as a 5-man unit, making sure that Kha'Zix does not get into any kind of position where he's going to be able to pick them off. Right now, with all of the super minions flooding into CLG's base, well, not quite there yet, but pushing up on the map, Golden Guardians wants to put some pressure on this Baron, see if they can bait CLG into trying to fight them while the minions are pushing up into the base. Fallen Bandit does go into this Meganar, which means that for a few seconds at least, CLG has the pressure of the screen fight. Fallen Bandit jumps in, he flashes in, gets the stun, but the root comes out from Jurassic as well as the ult from the mid laner. The Terra Gold comes down, Omar God jumps into the fight but is not able to get anything done. Fallen Bandit is about to fall down on this Gnar, he does go down, but in exchange they do get Potluck. Phil is about to drop as well, he's barely living. Overall, it's a 2-for-2 even trade, but now Golden Guardians has very low health bars on their side of the map, so they're going to have to go back to base, which means that CLG Academy effectively won that team fight and might be able to get some pressure around this Baron. Looks like Golden Guardians might be faking the fact that they recalled, and knowing that there are minions going into CLG's base, they're going to look to take this Baron for themselves. If they're able to sneak this Baron, that's going to be a huge win for them, although their health bars were incredibly low from that fight. Omar God does check it, but it looks like he's going to back off as Golden Guardians does finish up that Baron. That was a great play from Golden Guardians, knowing that they had the vision while CLG Academy didn't, and knowing that they had the minions pushing up into the base of CLG. This is a huge power play for Golden Guardians Academy. Now that they have the Baron, they're going to be able to look towards the mid lane to finish off that inhibitor once again, and then quickly rotate over to the top, crack the last inhibitor, and then look to end out the game. Overall, really good play from Golden Guardians Academy. Was a little shaky there during that team fight. The Gnar presence in these team fights is huge, and Fallen Bandit's been playing this game really well. Having some great Gnar ults, some great TP flanks, and some great positioning on the map. It just hasn't been quite enough for the side of CLG Academy to actually win anything off of that. Looks like this is going to be stopped for the most part by CLG Academy, as Golden Guardians looks to wait for another minion wave to come up here. That inhibitor on the bottom side of the map is going to respawn soon, so they might take this inhibitor and then rotate their focus over to the bottom lane inhibitor. Looks like Golden Guardians doesn't want to force too hard here right now, and instead want to get that top lane pushing first for themselves. This does give CLG a little bit of breathing room as they're able to clear out these minions on the bottom side of the map and wait for these super minions to die out just a little bit. Golden Guardians is staying here in the mid lane as they start up a split push with Gangplank going towards the top lane. Gangplank, however, does not have the Baron buff on him, so this is going to be a little bit harder for him to actually push and get some damage onto this turret. Looks like Talia is going up to answer him there in the top lane and is going to be able to clear those waves before a whole lot of damage goes down onto that turret. The inhibitor here in the mid lane is down to about half health, thanks to those cannon minions just wailing on it constantly. Looks like that turret there in the top lane as well is down to about half, so we'll have to see if Jenkins is going to be able to force that down a little bit more. Looks like Golden Guardians has managed to finish off that inhibitor in the mid lane, so we'll see if they're going to rotate down to the bottom lane inhibitor. That inhibitor is already down to about 75% health. Should be an easy take for Golden Guardians Academy as they get this minion wave coming in to help them. Otto's trying to poke them off as much as possible, but he's just hitting Potluck, who's a giant tape. The ult comes in as Gangplank was a little bit worried that a fight was going to break out, and it looks like nothing's going to happen quite yet. Jenkins was able to get that turret in the top lane. Now they have 2 inhibitors down with the 3rd inhibitor exposed. It should be easy for Golden Guardians to rotate up there, take this last inhibitor, and just wait for the super minions to flood in. A huge chunk of damage onto Tuesday means that they have a lot of pressure now on this map. The Baron minions coming in soon, super minions coming in next, and there's only one Nexus tower remaining. We'll have to see what CLG can do to stop this fight. They have to look to engage now. Xpecial eats up Jurassic as Jurassic tries to disengage. He does still have his ult. The Gnar comes in, giant ult from him, but the redemption to stop the fight. Potluck is on the backside of the fight. He is going to get saved by the Tom Pinch. The Terror Gold comes out. The redemption on the side of CLG Academy is going to reset the fight for them, as everyone is still pretty healthy on the side of Golden Guardians Academy. Potluck does go down, but Jenkins is able to kill Tuesday on the other side. Otto jumps in and kills the Tom Pinch and Varus. That is a great team fight win for CLG Academy, but it might just be too late as the remaining Nexus turret has fallen. Overall, it was a 3-for-1 in favor of CLG Academy, but they did lose that Nexus turret, and they do have 3 waves of super minions coming in towards their base. It's going to be very hard for CLG to defend in the future, but we'll have to wait and see if they can hold it out, push out these waves in the 40 seconds that they have before the rest of Golden Guardians respawns. It looks like pretty much everyone is starting to hit their end-game spikes here. Gangplank has sold his boots and is now sitting at 80% crit. The Jarvan has full item slots. The Malzahar has full item slots, although I expect him to sell the Spellcreep, the Frost Queen, later on into this game. Varus is sitting at full items, and Tom Pinch as well, except for slot rewards. And it's all CLG can do really to fight out 6 super minions at a time. Looks like they're going to be funneled into their base for the most part. That fight did give them some breathing room, but it wasn't nearly enough for them to actually push out any of these waves. It should be a simple matter for Golden Guardians to push up here. Looks like they might wait for this Elder Dragon to spawn, take that buff, since CLG can't come out of their base, and then push in for the final time against CLG. On the other side of CLG, it looks like their item inventories are pretty much full too. However, they do have to buy the QSSs, so they're going to be lacking in combat power on the side of CLG Academy, since Talia's not really going to want that QSS to help her damage output. It looks like this Elder Dragon is going to go down for the side of Golden Guardians Academy. Easy pickup for them since CLG can't leave their base, and we'll have to see how quickly Golden Guardians can now close out this game, as it's nearing 50 minutes long. The gold is 10,000 in favor of Golden Guardians, but like I've been talking about, item slots are pretty much full, so this gold lead really doesn't matter for either team. Golden Guardians is pushing up here on the bottom wave. They have the two super minions coming in. The inhibitors are going to respawn soon. Tuesday throws down the old giant Narf from Fallen Bandit, but he doesn't manage to stun anyone. Jarvan jumps into the back line. It looks like they're going to focus on this Narf for now. And he's going down fast with that gameplay damage. He goes down. The Potluck is going down too. The Malzahar ulti comes down. Tarek is gone. Dinar is gone. That's all the tanks gone from the side of CLG Academy. Potluck flags and drives in, flashes, gets onto Tuesday. It's a double kill for Jurassic, and they're going to end this game. That was a long game from the side of Golden Guardians Academy, but they're able to take the victory over CLG. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the match history and stats for that game of Golden Guardians Academy versus CLG Academy. It was a really long game, and I'm actually fairly impressed with CLG's hold in this game. Like I said, they're one of the weaker teams, in my opinion, in the Academy League, despite having Omar God and this team playing together for a long time. So the fact that they were able to stall out this game for as long as they did was pretty good for them. However, taking a look at this gold graph, Golden Guardians was pretty much in the lead the entire time. It stalled out for a long time here in the mid game with no one having a clear advantage. However, towards the end, there was that team fight where it was a 2-for-2, I believe, even trade. But Golden Guardians made the clever play to actually stay around, fake their recalls, and then start up the Baron, as they had those super minions going in on the inhibitors, or into the base of Counter Logic Gaming. So smart plays out of Golden Guardians Academy. They weren't able to snowball this game quite as I had hoped. They got that early kill in the beginning with Jurassic and Xpecial just 2v2 in the lane, and were able to continue to push out a couple of turrets. But every time that they made a move, CLG for the most part answered them fairly evenly. Both of them just trading sides of the map for a lot of this game. The game really broke open. Looks like this was a Baron play. Varus managed to pick up a double kill in a team fight, and then after that they were able to swing that into Baron, and that made them push and get a couple of inhibitors and towers. So smart moves out of Golden Guardians Academy. They played this one well. It was a long game for them, but in the end they had some smart plays that let them clutch out the victory. This is going to do it for this match. I hope you enjoyed the video, and check out the rest of my YouTube. Thank you.